to my channel. This is my first ever video, so please excuse me if I sound weird, I look weird. I've never done this before, but I am quite excited to get going with it. Makeup's been a passion of mine for like a good few years now. I used to do my makeup awfully. Now I think I'm kind of decent at it. So I am going to try my best to show it's like kind of like a practice video to kind of get started with it, and then maybe I could do some more themed videos such as like full face or Fenty, Morphe, things like that, because I do have a lot of products over the years. I've collected loads. So I have my primer here. It's just a drugstore one from America. It's an e.l.f. Cosmetics one. It's a mineral infused face primer. A lot of people have probably used this. It is quite a basic blurring primer. So I've already washed my face, used my toner, close any of them pores, and then really deep moisturise. I've found that when I haven't moisturised quite as well, my foundation seems to like cake, and it seems to go on really like flaky, and I can always tell when I've not moisturised properly after. So I'm just going to squirt a few on there, a bit on my hands, and just rub it into my skin. Under my eyes and around the nose is usually the places where I try and cover more. Maybe in your crack of your chin, down your neck, anywhere you're going to put foundation. So maybe on your ears if you like to cover that bit, or in a little bit of your hairline. I like to usually put it just so it's easier to maybe sweep away into your hairline so it doesn't clog in your hair and things. We're going to go on to foundation. So I've had this bottle quite a while, that's why it kind of looks disgusting. But this is the Maybelline New York Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. Apparently it lasts 24 hours. I haven't tested it for 24 hours because I don't think you should really wear foundation for 24 hours. But this, sometimes it looks too light on me, sometimes it doesn't. But because I'm on camera, I'm just going to use the lighter shade. I do have a darker one as well, but I am just going to use the lighter one. Real Techniques Beauty Sponge there. I've already wet it. It is clean, it's just been used one time before, that's why it looks kind of gross. So I'm just going to squeeze it straight onto the beauty blender. I don't like to waste product, so I don't put it on my hand or anything, but if you do, that's absolutely fine. I also have eczema on my hands, so I can't really apply much to the hands. So I've got my mirror right here, so I'm just going to dab a few bits around my face and then blend it in. Usually like to go around in circles to make sure the coverage builds up everywhere. That was one full square. It's kind of covered my whole face, but at the minute I have got quite a lot of blemishes, so I am going to put a little bit more on, just kind of even it out a little bit, because especially in my forehead at the minute I have had a breakout. So I'm just going to put one more squirt there and just dot it around in the places where I want it. A bit more under the eyes. We are going to conceal them later anyway, and I don't put a lot of foundation over my natural eyebrows or on the top of my eyelids, just a little bit to kind of blend it in with the rest of the face. If I put too much on, I can't see where my natural shape is properly, so I'm just going to buff it out into my hairline like I said I would before. Down the neck. So I can still see through the foundation a little bit, but I think it's just because I do have very dry skin at the top of my forehead at the minute. I do struggle with eczema in certain places, so when that does flare up, the foundation doesn't seem to layer as nicely, which I don't think is the foundation's fault. I have used this foundation for a very long time, so usually it is very good when it's just not flared up basically. I would do next the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade. I use Taupe. Don't like to use blonde. I like my eyebrows a little bit darker than my hair. You should really go 2 shades darker for your eyebrows than your hair colour. I used to use the shade Chocolate when I was still experimenting. No one ever really said that my eyebrows looked really dark, but when I look back on photos, I'm really shocked at how dark they actually were. I'm going to go in with a Real Techniques eyebrow and eyeliner brush. This is 202. I'm just going to dip in. I have had this exact pot for a very long time. I probably need a new one, so it is quite a dry one. So what I usually do, I go underneath my natural brow shape, just like that. I always extend the front a little bit as well, just because my hair starts there. And I always think that it shapes the top of my brow bone a little bit nicer if I just bring it further forward. I always like to keep the underneath of the eyebrow very straight, and then when I get to my natural arch I just bring it down like that. I never do my eyebrows perfect the first time. I always kind of do like a rough version and then go around and underneath with concealer. A lot of the time my eyebrows will look awful until I do that, but I don't panic because that's what I usually do with it. So just then, all I did was I didn't fill this bit in with a line yet. If the line above here is too harsh, they can look really drawn on, really fake. So I start like midway down from where that line is, because this is going to be a full block colour, whereas this is going to be drawn hair and not as block. Right, so my camera stopped recording. I didn't know that my camera after 12 minutes of filming was going to shut off. So basically, in the time that it's been missed, filled my eyebrows in, layered on some concealer just underneath my eyes and my eyebrows. So I used the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. Full coverage. A lot of people do say it's like Shape Tape. It is my favourite that I've ever used. If there's any that you like though, let me know, because I do like trying new products. So yeah, I did that. Then I also contoured, and I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette, light to medium. I am very fair. I used a mixture of these 2 shades here. This one is very cool toned and very fair. This one, I think that's more neutral. It's still quite fair, but I mixed those two because I haven't got much cheekbone to show, so did that there, just under my jawline there, and just around the forehead. A bit lighter on the forehead just because I don't really need to emphasise anything there, just to kind of give it that airbrushed feel. And then I used setting powder. So I used the Huda Beauty setting powder. It's just in shade Sugar Cookie, translucent powder. I put that everywhere. The bits that I left it on to bake, though, on my nose and just under my eyes. I do have quite oily skin in these areas. It's dry here and then normal everywhere else. And I think that's all I did. And then it shut off. Now I've done all of that, I was just going to go on and prime my eyes. I haven't set my eyes, so they have all creased during when I was trying to figure out what happened to my camera. So I'm just going to take my beauty blender again and just buff out those lines just one more time. Right, so I'm going to use the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Painterly. This tone, anyway, is good if you're very cool toned and very pale. So I'm just going to put it all over my lid. Right, so eyes primed. I don't set this, it's very matte drying and doesn't crease. Usually I do have to when it's like an oil based eye primer, but since I've used that I haven't really had the need to change it. I do really like that primer. So this is my favourite bit just because this is where I can get really creative. Let's just do a random look. So I'm going to use the Morphe palette in 35B. This has been discontinued because it's had to make room for the James Charles palette, which I also do want, but this is good enough for now. So it comes with all sorts of colours. I'm just going to remove that sheet. I've used this quite a lot for like Instagram pictures. Just show you them colours there. I don't know what colour to kind of base the eyes off of, so I'm going to do blue. I have a collection of Zoeva brushes as well. The main brush I use is this one. It has got makeup on it already, I used it yesterday. It's number 227 and it's a Luxe Soft Definer. It's the Rose Gold collection. I use this for literally all sorts to do with the eye. I don't even really use it just for blending, so I'm just gonna clean this. So it's not gonna be perfect, but as long as like the majority of the pigment is off it, it should be fine. I'm gonna go into this colour here, this very bright blue. I don't even know if you can see that. This bright blue here, and then I'm going to go in the crease with this darker blue, just to make it look like I've got some definition to my eye. Maybe a little bit of that, we'll see how dark that applies first. And then I'm just gonna take my finger and put this shimmery blue on the lid. Yeah, just gonna use this one first and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go straight into the crease. So I'm just gonna pack it on there and then blend it out. Right, so that is kind of the base I want for this eye. I'm going to do it over on this side and then you'll see me with on both eyes, and then I'm going to move on to the darker colours. Right, so that is that colour laid down on both eyes. Just a reminder, I'm going to go into this darker blue, still a matte colour. I'm going to go into that next, into the crease. So that's the darker colour in the crease. Off camera, it does look really blended nicely. Again, practice makes perfect, so I don't actually know how it looks on camera. But now I'm going to go in with this shimmery blue shade, just this one here. I'm going to go in with my finger just because it's the best thing that I've found to use with metallic colours. It seems to put it on the lid really nice. I'm just going to rub my finger in that and pop it on. So yeah, now put the metallic on the main part of the lid. I think it looks quite nice, it's quite ocean bluey mermaid. So I'm just going to go in with same brush again, just to blend just under the eye, but I'm also going to mix the application with one other brush. I'm going to use this one. It is supposedly a brow line brush, but like I said, you can use a brush for anything you want. This is just for brow lines as it says, but I'm going to use it just to put the maximum amount of pigment underneath and then blend it out a little bit. This is 322. It is just like an angled brow brush. And I'm going to go in with that first blue colour, the lightest one. Just like that, and then blend it out. Alright, so that side's done. Now I'm just going to do the other side. So that is the eyeshadow done. I'm now going to go in with some eyeliner. What I've been using is the Morphe Gel Slate Liner. Very, very loved, very used. I have got one of these on the way actually. So I apply that with this Maybelline eyeliner brush. It does have a smudging end and a precise application end. The smudging end I've never used. I don't really like to experiment too much with my eyeliner. I love a long cat flick, but hopefully that's something I could maybe get into. But for now we're just going to use the precise end. So with a flick, I always do the underneath edge of the flick first, and then just not on the very end of where I've left the line, just a little bit in around there. I like to go in, so I've got a very precise line already. I don't have to then try and get it really thin, and then just go all the way across my lid and fill it in. So that is the liner done on one eye. I'm just going to do the other. And then what I also like to do is always go, especially with a dramatic eye look, I like to go underneath where your natural lashes are, just a little bit. It helps blend all your lashes, eyeliner, falsies together. So you'll probably see that though at the end. Now, as you can see, this one's a little bit bumpy, but I'm going to show you what to do if this ever happened. So I just get my concealer brush, which is, again, it's just another unbranded one, just a very thin tipped one. And you can just sculpt, without any concealer really, just sculpt it. I'm wiping off any excess eyeliner I get on the brush, just so that when I put my brush back down, it's not going to print. So that's both eyeliners done. So final step, I'm going to apply some eyelashes. These are Eylure eyelashes, or Eylure. I always say Eylure just because it's, you know, eyelashes. I just thought that's what they were going for, but these are the ones Gimme. They're in the most wanted selection. I just keep buying these basically because they make every look amazing. They are just very, very fluffy but bold lashes. I'm going to apply these now with some eyelash glue, and then next time you see me I'll have my eyelashes on, and then we'll do highlight, setting spray, and that'll be it done. And then highlighter. The highlighter I'm going to use, I haven't used it that much and I can't really pronounce it. It's Jeffree Star approved, that's the main reason I bought it, but it's a 24K gold infused highlighter powder. This is in shade Diva because it's the lightest and I'm a ghost. So it's a loose highlighter and I use the biggest brush to highlight. It's actually classed as a foundation brush, and it's the Real Techniques Face Expert brush. I did used to use this for foundation, but then I discovered the beauty blender, so then I used that. But with highlight, I like to look, because everything else I like really matte, so I like to go in deep with that so it doesn't make me look too dry. So I'm just going to dip it in, just pop it on the cheek. Whoa. So as you can see, a lot. I'm going to blend it out, it's not a problem. What brush shall I use? To be honest, I might just try and use my finger. I'm going to wipe a little bit off my finger and just use a little eyeshadow blending brush just to kind of take that harshness off. Now, I don't know how that looks on camera. It looks quite subtle off camera, but I know that cameras can make things look very different. It looked extremely blinding when I first put it on, and I was actually quite scared that I put too much on. But since I blended it out, it actually looks really nice. Just going to do the other cheek the exact same. Alright, so that is that highlighter done. I usually put a little bit on the nose, a little bit in the corners of the eyes. That is amazing as a corner highlighter. A little bit on the cupid's bow. Doesn't matter if it goes on your lips because you're obviously either going to cover that with lipstick or wipe off the foundation on your lips. Then I'm going to apply a lipstick. I'm going to go in with a nude lipstick because I have very bold, bright eyes. So I'm going to go in with the Superstay Matte Ink lipsticks by Maybelline New York again. These stay amazing without making your lips feel too dry. So I'm just going to apply that, and then we'll go on setting spray, and then we're done. Same with lipstick, if you feel like parts of it have gone a little bit wobbly or off your lip, you can always shape that using your concealer brush as well. Now, I don't like to overdraw my lips just because I have really big eyes, small lips, so I don't mind having that balance. I don't think I'd ever have them done just because I quite like them small. And then I'm just finally going to go in with the Slate All Day Setting Spray by Gerard Cosmetics. I've got the fragrance Lavender. I wish I didn't because it's so showcase. It smells like all the soil. But I'm just going to spray that everywhere. Usually I have a little fan to waft and set the spray really into the skin. Today I don't. So you can always just leave it on its own, that's not a problem, but it really feels like it's beneficial to do that. It seems to last a lot longer when you do that. So that is the look for today. First ever YouTube video. I don't think it's gone too bad. I've run into a few little errors, but nothing that I can't work out. You have to work out those kinks. And I'm going to go and edit, see how that turns out, make thumbnails. But I really hope I stick with this because this was really fun. But yeah, if there's anything that you want me to try, please let me know in the comments. Give it a like, subscribe if you feel like you want to follow my journey on here. And yeah, thank you. It's been Kitty Beauty. Bye.